So I'm just about to interview Alex Glassey, CEO of StratPad. When you've seen this interview, tell us what you think, comment, and don't forget to share. I'm Heather Ferguson, and you have found a Sonar Moment.
I'm a hippie, corporate hippie.
We're aware of the risks, but we're willing to ignore them for the moment.
I don't have to be the smartest guy in the room.
But a complaint is actually a request.
It's the Sonar Moment, a monthly interview with CEOs from the Pacific Northwest. We're here at the beautiful Alex Goulden Hall in Victoria, Canada, and with me today is Alex Glassey, the founder and CEO of StratPad, one of the best business apps according to Forbes magazine in the last 2 years running. And Alex, thank you very much for coming. This is the end of our summer startup series, and we're really lucky to have you.
Heather, it's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So just tell me a little bit about this app. What is StratPad?
So StratPad is an app that helps small and medium-sized businesses and their advisors just think about their business, plan their business, and then manage their business.
So how did you get started in that?
Well, I've been consulting and teaching small businesses in several countries for a number of years, in fact, my entire career, and have found that the tools that have been out there historically have all come from large companies, large universities, large consulting firms. And I found myself struggling to get some of the basic concepts across to my clients and my students with the traditional tools. And so I thought to myself, you know what, there must be a better way. And so it took some time and distilled down some of the key business concepts, and then thinking about how to deliver it, understood that we could do it using really simple and modern technologies, video, apps, that type of thing. And did a little experiment, created an app called StratPad. And in the first 2 days, we sold 183 of those in several countries, and just thought, wow, there's an appetite for this stuff, and StratPad was born.
So Alex, tell me a little bit about how this changes the game. You were dissatisfied with the way that strategy was being done, taught, promoted, and you made a change. What was that?
Well, strategy historically has, because it's come from the domain of large businesses and large consulting firms, has historically been enormously complex and also very expensive to interpret. Yeah. And so all that I've done is just gone back through 50 years of strategy literature and distilled that down into the essence of what strategy is all about. And strategy is, and then taken that and put it into an easy to read format that then is practical and integrated, that someone can sit down, a small business person can now sit down over a cup of coffee and 20 minutes later go, wow, I now understand the fundamentals of strategy and I can start to apply that to my own business. That's all I've done, is I've just simplified it and packaged it and delivered it in an effective and very affordable manner.
And that's part of the problem with strategy, isn't it? I mean, there's really only one word. We don't have multiple words to describe it, so we overuse that word, and nobody really knows what it means. It's kind of like governance, you know, isn't it? Yeah. So have you found that people are understanding it better and applying it, or what's been the reaction? Yeah,
well, the reaction has been that most people come to us because they need to prepare a business plan. And so there's lots of competition out there, lots of tools out there that will help you prepare a business plan. But what we start off by saying, well, stop, just press the pause button for a sec. Let's first of all think about your business. And so we try to avoid the word strategy, and we just say, let's think about your business. And so we ask some questions like, what's your business all about? What makes it unique? How do you turn that uniqueness to your advantage? In other words, how do you make money out of that? And then also, how do you defend that uniqueness? And so if you're thinking about those things, it will inform your business planning process and make your business plan stronger. And then what we say is, well, then take that business plan and then manage it, follow up with it on a weekly and monthly basis. So that's all that we're saying. These are simple, common sense. We've just simply, as I say, packaged it and delivered it and made it available for $10.
So you've got a plan. You're going to come back and look at the plan every month, every week, whatever it takes, and you're just going to work the plan. That's really all we're talking about.
It's really all we're talking about, except that the thinking part asks the questions about uniqueness. And those are things that some people come to intuitively. Big businesses, if they're, with their consultants, should be thinking about but oftentimes small businesses, they have an idea, they figure, well, I want to make some money out of it, so I'll go and get some customers, and they're not thinking with the same level of rigor that they should be. And so by simply asking that one question, it helps to inform their entire process, their people, their products, the whole thing.
I always remember Colin's 3 circles. What do you do better than anyone else in the world? What are you passionate about? How do you make it pay? How do you drive
That's exactly
it?
Right.
And that really speaks to uniqueness, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about more. I mean, is there an example of someone that you can think of where maybe it wasn't so unique, it was kind of what everybody else was doing, and then they kind of got it? Because there is a light that goes on when you say, aha, I have to do something different than what other people are doing.
I mean, you can apply this anywhere. If you, for example, if you have a retail flower store and you're just thinking that you're selling flowers to your neighborhood, you'll sell some flowers. But if you start to think about selling only the highest quality flowers, if that's all that you start to do rather than budget flowers, you'll make different decisions. You'll think about how you're going to present it in different ways. You'll think about where the flowers you're going to get from, your suppliers. You'll think about freshness. You'll think about the length of the stem, the vibrancy of the color, and you'll think about all that. And then you'll find you'll have to match customers because not everyone wants to pay a higher price for top quality flowers.
Yeah,
and
that was going to be my next question.
That's right. So you have to connect, your passion and your product or service right through to your customers, and you have to just constantly hold those things in your mind at all times. So Collins was absolutely right.
I know StratPad. I have it on my iPad, and I do go in and when you really start to fill in all of the pieces, and then you start to check back with your plan every week. This is MBA 101. I get that, but there's an element of discipline, isn't there, attached to this? Tell me about that.
Well, there absolutely is an element of discipline. Thomas Friedman, the flat world guy, says that successful countries and cultures need to enable imagination, and I love that. And that's that whole creative side that I've talked about. But what's also needed is that discipline, is that kind of left brain stuff. I think it's left brain.
Is it left brain?
Yeah. It's that left brain
Okay.
stuff where you have a goal and you create the steps, and then you sit down with your staff every week and talk about progress, and then make adjustments. And it's common sense stuff. It's really no more complex than that. And I think that's the message also that I want to get to small business people, is that it really isn't much more complex than that, than setting some kind of goal 3 months out, and then figuring out what the steps are, and then communicating that to your staff, and then meeting with your staff every week, and then listening to what's going on and making the adjustments. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what we teach.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know one of the things I say to my clients is we look at what we can control. And one thing we can control is the plan. And if the plan is not working and the results are not what we want, we go back and we check the plan and we think about the plan and change the plan, because we have control over that. Are you in control of your plan?
Are we in control of our own plan?
Yes.
Yeah, so do we eat our own cooking?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we have a very deliberate 10-year plan. We're just finishing up the second year of it. And our plan is to take this stuff out into the world and to create and grow and strengthen the community of small business people. But yeah, we sit down with our plan. That's what Saturday mornings are for, sitting down with your metrics and a cup of coffee and the people who you need to talk with, and just review things and make sure you're on track. And as I said before, we've made dozens of changes. Nothing macro yet, nothing major. Well, one major change, which I really can't talk about, but we've made all kinds of changes to our direction, just to trim the sails as we need to, because of what we hear about from our customers and our competitors.
I want to ask you about something which is tangential to strategy but informs it, and that's financial literacy. Because one of the issues with, certainly with small business, and arguably even medium, and one could even say large corporations in some respects, is that financial literacy is often lacking, and that is often the thing that takes the whole strategy down. how do you feel about that? How do you, in your teaching, in your consulting work, how do you deal with that?
Well, first of all, you're absolutely right, and it's been borne out time and again. Intuit just earlier this year released a study that talked about the single biggest point of failure in small businesses is lack of financial literacy, and people who have been in business 5 years will look back and say the number one thing I wish I'd learned earlier was financial literacy. And we see it in our clients as they go through, our customers as they go through the process of building out their business plan. The number one sticking point is the financial stuff. And so we have taken it upon ourselves to help them through a number of different ways. One of them is just to encourage them that it's not that difficult. The second thing is to get them to reach out to find someone who can help them through that. And the third thing is it's now really very simple to put together education. And so we're releasing video lessons and other work that's either on our website or buried inside the product itself that helps to educate people. And again, not the full range of financial statement understanding, but just the basics, how to create an invoice and why an invoice is important, how to receive money and how that affects your business. So we think that with those small steps in the first 2 or 3 or 4 months of starting a business, the business person will become educated and therefore much better able to understand how to manage their business from a cash flow perspective, because that's really what it's all about.
Yeah, cash is king, isn't it?
Yeah, the number one rule of business is don't run out of cash. Yeah.
It seems so obvious.
It seems so obvious.
Just like strategy seems so obvious.
Well,
Alex, thank you so much. I
Oh.
really appreciate this. This has just been wonderful to talk about strategy as part of our Summer Startup Series.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you, Heather.
Thanks. Bye.